Okay, guys, what's up? How you doing? My name is Mel. Welcome to holmzlaw. This is the live Q&A session here for Sunday night, where I'm usually on here at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. How you doing, brother? P-Funk, how you doing? Glad to have you here again. Yeah, so basically, this is what we do every Sunday night. We get on here and answer any of your questions that you may have on conduit bending, or if it's, anything electrically related. I'll answer the question if I can. If I have the answer, then why not? As far as with me, I'm good. I'm getting ready for the this week coming in. July is around the corner. Summer's here. We're on a big project now as it is. We just started a new project, so yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm always at the beginning of a new project. I kind of like it, I kind of like going to new projects. The beginning of it is always the fun part, and all that. It's the end that I don't really like too much. You know what I mean? But definitely the beginning where we're just starting to build everything up. That to me is the funnest part. Planning the layout. Watching everything come together. The end is, like I said, not something that I'm too keen about. But no matter what, the job goes on, the job gets done. You know what I mean? So let me check it out here. We got a few questions that were sent to me throughout the week. Not as much as last week, but we have a few. We have a few that were. Some of them were I wasn't able to answer them. I wasn't able to answer them last week. But pretty much it's pretty simple stuff. But I guess we're starting to have a lot of apprentices that are coming on to the channel or my platform, and they're starting to ask me a lot of questions. So most of them were all about bending on center. Okay, so bending on center is something that as an apprentice, you don't really. Thomas, what's going on? How you doing? We're using the post questions here room if you want to type in, anything, or you have any questions. So bending on center is something that not too many people, especially an apprentice coming up, they haven't even heard of it, or they might have heard of it, but they don't even know what it is. So I've been getting a lot of questions about bending on center. What is it? How do I learn how to do it? Uh, you know, um, and whatnot. So many different other questions. So, like I was saying, when you first start out, you're only worried about learning the multipliers and just basically learning how to bend. Making standard bends as it is. You're not trying to get all fancy and advanced just yet. But then, as the years go on, or maybe even the months go on, or whatever, depending on how ambitious you are, as time goes on, you start hearing about bending on center, and you want to know what it is. And it's pretty simple. The most important part that you need to know is how to actually find the center of a bend. All right, and I have a couple of videos on that topic. Basically, what you want to do is, depending on the degree of bend you want to find the center of, bend, make a 30-degree bend if that's what you want to find the center of. And after you're doing that, and you have your 30-degree bend, and you make sure that it's accurate, I would use the most accurate measuring tool that you have, whether it be a protractor or a digital level or whatever. I wouldn't just bend it off of a hand bender. I would try to get it the most accurate as possible. After you get your bend, then you just find the center. By doing that, you just put two straight edges on the straight edge sides of your bends, and it's going to give you an X. And that X, the center of that X is where the center of bend is. And then, it goes a little deeper than that, and I have a video showing you. But the most important part that I want you to know about is that, bending on center can be very useful, but you also have to know what you're doing, okay? Bending on center gives you the freedom of actually being able to manipulate your bends in any direction. What I mean by that is you can actually bend it on any side. Like if you have to make a 3-point saddle for, as an example, okay, and you have your center marks for your 22.5 degrees for the side bends, and obviously you already have your center mark for the 45 on your hand bender. That's the notch or the teardrop, depending on what bender you have. Now, with that information, okay, you can actually bend every bend on center, okay, and what that means is that you wouldn't have to flip your conduit around like you usually do for the last bend on the 3-point saddle. Like, you can actually just do what we call the push through method, because you're bending every single one on the center mark. You know what I mean? So it's just something that I'm actually gonna make a video of, and show you how to actually, make these bends on center. Also, another reason why you want to know how to bend on center is kicks. Most kicks, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but it's better when you actually learn how to actually bend them on center, especially when you're doing parallel kicks. You have to make all your bends on center. Okay, now if you're using the measured method with a kick, then that's just simply just placing your bender anywhere on the pipe, and just you're actually just bending it to a measurement, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? But when you start getting to larger conduit and you're starting to bend on the electric bender or on the table bender, then bending on center plays a big part. And that's when you actually start, seeing, or you start asking yourself with this question on how to actually bend on center. When you start moving up to larger conduits, it becomes a lot more useful, especially because you're using these machines. You know what I mean? And bending on center is almost a must. You don't want to have to, take out these conduits and have to flip them around for every single bend. Bending on center actually, eliminates all that. You can actually bend it in any way that you want to. If you have, for example, an offset that you want to do, and one side is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be on the bend that you have to make is gonna be on a short side, and you wanted to do it on the other side, and you wanted to flip the bender around. Well, you flip the actual conduit around. Well, you can, because it doesn't matter which side of the bend you make the bend, because it's on center, right? You know what I mean? But the thing is that you do have to lay it out for that purpose. But yeah, with that said, it also helps a lot with offsets, like I was just saying. Most people, when you start getting advanced, you'll bend an offset on center because it actually brings you closer to your obstruction. And when you're actually installing your conduit, your actual offset will be really tight and close to your obstruction, like it was intended to do so. You could always tell somebody that's just starting, their offsets are so far away from the obstructions. And it's either you didn't take the time out to actually calculate it a little better, to get it closer to the obstruction, or they didn't know how to, account for the shrinkage and all that as well. But so yeah, that's something that I think I might actually contribute a video to, is bending on center, and showing you the difference between bending on center and not, and also maybe showing you how to do different various types of bends on center. The thing is that what would help is I don't usually always have I don't have at hand all the time an electric bender or a table bender where I could actually just make a video whenever I want. But mostly it would help if I can actually show you on those two benders. But when I do have the time and I have the opportunity, I always do try to make a video on those two benders especially. Because those are the the benders that mostly people want to learn on. Okay, so yeah, so that's something that I just wanted to get out there as well. Also something that's coming up and that I wanted to actually, speak about, is that's a long time coming. I haven't been able to make the video, but it's finally coming together, and I'm at the beginning of actually getting all my notes together and putting the parts together to make a video on how to actually find the radius of different type of obstructions. Okay, now let's just say you know you have videos out there that I've put out as well on how to make segment bends, concentric, 90s and whatnot. First of all, a segment bend is just, a 90 that has small different bends to complete the 90-degree bend. Concentric bends is just, you could basically call it like parallel segments. It's just concentric 90s. So they're back-to-back 90s and they're all made with segment bends, and it all looks, nice, and they're all spaced out the same. So basically what we're having a lot of questions where people don't know how to actually find the radius to different obstructions. Like, let's just say and maybe it isn't even an obstruction, maybe it's just a surface that you're trying to go around or whatnot. Okay, so now for the first part, uh one is going around a large tank. Okay, and I see you, Thomas, and I will get with you in a second. Going around a large tank is one, and the other is that I've had, quite a few, is how do you bend around an arched ceiling? Okay, an arched ceiling. Now, where the ceiling has an actual arch to it, and you have to go under it, okay, on the inside of it, or maybe even if it is on the outside of it, doesn't matter. Either way, how do you find the radiuses to these curves where it's not actually round and you have no round diameter to find? How do you find these radiuses? Well, these are things that I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over all of this in a video. I'm finally putting the pieces together, and I'm hoping to come out with it soon. Yeah, so I'm hoping to come out with it pretty soon. I'm not sure exactly when yet. I can't give you a date, but I'm hoping to come out soon. Thomas, how are you? How you doing, brother?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly clear, man. What's going on, brother?
So when you're doing the segment bendings, right, I'm trying to wrap my head around a scenario where I would be using a segment bend because, like I told you, I work for like one foreman, and I've been by myself for like a whole year now, right? Um, so typically whenever we have different sized pipes, we kind of separate if the main is coming in and if they're on the same rack, the main the feeder pipe.
Right.
We kind of have to separate them because they can't be on the same route. Because obviously, I do prefabs because that's just what's allowed to me. Like I said, I don't do huge jobs. So in segment bending, is that a scenario where I would be able to grab the prefab bend, take the radius of that prefab? Let's say it's a 4 inch, right? And then
Yeah.
let's say I have a bunch of, let's say that I have a bunch of, I don't know, just for the sake of the question, I have a bunch of 1 inch pipes in between,
Yes.
on either side. If I was to grab the radius of the
1 inch. Okay.
90s,
Okay.
right, and then I would be able to copy that, and then it would be able to fit on the pipe rack on the run with the 4 inch, correct?
Correct.
Because
Yes.
usually what we do is we'll separate it, because we'll just separate it from the rip just because we know that it's just going to be a pain in the ass, and there's going to be big gaps.
Yeah.
Kind of eventually look like shit.
Well, actually, let me see if I get this right. So, the way that you would do that is, let's just say you have a rack of a whole bunch of 1 inch pipes, right? So all of the 90s,
Right.
you have all the 90s back to back around them, and it's looking nice and pretty. And all of a sudden, you have or actually, no, not that way. Let's just say you have 4 inch, okay, on the rack, and all of a sudden here comes a 1 inch conduit. Well, you want to get the radius of the 4 inch so that you can copy that same radius onto the 1 inch. You know what I mean? This way it can take the same bend as the 1 inch. You know what I mean? That's when you would actually use it more.
do you find that that would be, like, how do I put this? Do you find that that would take too much time to do it that way, or do you think that it's sufficient enough to where like it's worth doing it because it just looks nicer, or it would
Okay.
save money?
All right. All right. So,
Because
go ahead.
the reason I ask, is because my foreman is kind of like the type of guy that just wants to go 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 go.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. All right. So listen. Now I know the type. You know what I'm saying. So honestly speaking, it all depends. You know what I'm saying? Because all right. Number one, is it gonna stay? Is it gonna be exposed work somewhere where people are gonna see it all the time? If it's just in an electrical room somewhere
Right.
pushed in the back and nobody's gonna see it at all, then it doesn't matter. You know. Number two,
Yeah.
if you have the foreman that's really rush rush rush, then no, it's really not worth it. You know. But there are times, okay, that you're gonna come at in your career, okay, where you will have to use it for a certain application, whether it be because you might be pulling fiber optics through it where you need large radius bends, and you'll see this in the future. You'll see you might even see prefab large 90 sweeps out there in the field where you'll see them because they'll be installing fiber optics in there, and the radius just has to be large. Or you'll run across where it's going to be exposed, and like I said, you want it to look you know neat, and then it's worth it to actually make that segment bend. Now, if it's only a couple of 90s that you have to do that, and it doesn't hurt, yeah, you know what you're doing. Me personally, I would do it because it doesn't take me that long to actually do it for a couple of bends. But now, when you're talking about racks upon racks, then that's going to take a little bit of time, you know. So it's something that you need to
Right.
just judge. You need to judge that on your own. Like you said, you already know your foreman, so you already know the answer on that. You know what I mean? You already know it. But like if you know that it's gonna be just one pipe, in the end, your foreman's gonna yeah, he wants you to be quick, but he also wants it to look good as well. If it's already done when he comes to see the work, then it's already done. You know.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean that's see the applications of these segment bends and these concentric bends. You know what? I'm trying to bring it back into place. You know what I mean? Because of mostly more with the hand bender, with the 3/4 pipe, with the 1 inch pipe, with the inch and a quarter. These smaller pipes, because you know what? If you learn it, it really doesn't take you that much time, to do these bends and make your work look good. Now, when you're trying to do a segment bend on a table bender and on an electric bender, yes, I'm going to tell you it takes a whole lot more time. But when you learn how to do it with a hand bender, it really doesn't take that much more time, and you can make a job look so much nicer. On this job alone that I'm at, I'm gonna do my best to post some pictures, but you know, I'm gonna show you the difference between a 3/4 rack of regular 90s and a 3/4 rack with concentric bends, and it really doesn't take that much longer, and the work looks spectacular. you know. But when you're talking, like I said, when you're talking about table benders and electric benders, it takes a lot longer because you have to make sure your pipe is level. Every bend you have to stop, pull it forward, make sure your pipe is level, then bend. Stop, re-level, push it forward, then bend. So yes, it takes time. It takes time. But yeah, Thomas, it's something that you're gonna have to actually, judge yourself whether it's worth it or not. But it's always worth it to know how to do it. Whether you don't get the practice to do it or not, it's always worth knowing how to actually, you know, lay out the segment bend on your conduit.
That's a different story. What I'm trying to ask you is this: is that how does that affect you as a foreman? For example, there's a guy on your crew, right? You're doing your numbers. You have a job. You have a budget, right?
Hmm.
And how does that affect you when one of your guys comes up to you and says, "Hey, I have a review. I'm going to ask for this much money, and or this gas card or whatever.
Right.
How would that? How would you? How does that affect you and your overhead and your budget? Does that actually like play a role? I guess what I'm saying is that as far as money goes, does that money come off of the actual budget?
Look, I mean, listen. Let me explain something to you that I've learned within these last, I would say, oh, man, almost 5 years. Okay, these companies, man. Everything now, if it's a good company and if they've been in business for quite some time, then they know what they're doing. Okay, and everything is already accounted for. You would not believe what is accounted for and what's in the actual budget when they bid a job. Okay, you would not believe. I mean, they get so precise, and good companies get even more precise as far as, what they actually bid these jobs for. Okay, and if the job is far away from where they're actually, stationed from, or, they take that all into account as well. People have to travel or whatever. Where are most of their workers from, and do they have to travel to this job? Okay, so, I mean, like, this is all taken into account for. Now, a good point that Joe just brought up in the chat is that you have to document, take pictures. I know you're not gonna have to write down everything that you've done, but pretty much everything is there, in proof. But take pictures. I mean, you have to document everything that you've done. From what you're telling me, man, and from what Joe, you've done switchgear, you've done a lot of piping. You're doing this job pretty much by yourself. You have facts here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that you can bring forward to your review to somebody else besides your foreman. Like, I've done all of this. I'm the foreman's lead guy. So what? That I'm the only one there. I'm the only one there. You know what I'm saying? That's actually not a bad thing. You know what I mean? You're the one doing all this work. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to, like, make sure that you are documenting these things either through pictures or with whatever that you can, document it with, whether it be with, things that you've written down yourself, tasks that you've done every day and whatnot. Just make sure that you have a record of everything that you've done. You should do this anyway in case you ever leave the company. You have, a diary of things that you've done, whether it be an album of pictures of all your work and whatnot. But definitely, as far as, being in the budget, your raise and all that, you're not even putting a dent in their budget, even if they give you a raise or not. Most of these companies, they just don't want to actually, fork out the money, but it's there. You know, your labor hours right now, I'm pretty sure they've actually made so much money on your job. You know what I'm saying? Because whether the foreman is there, you're probably not even getting paid for what you're supposed to be getting paid there, and they probably don't even have the amount of manpower there that they're supposed to. You know what I mean? But you're probably making them a lot of money right now, and you don't even know it. You know what I mean? And you deserve, what you deserve, man. You deserve a raise. You know what I mean? And like I said, just keep, bringing that forward to the actual foreman. You understand? There's only so much he can actually dodge you on this. And let me tell you something. That's not anything new, Thomas. They're gonna dodge you on this raise, and this is just something that non-union companies do, and this is what we have to go through because we're non-union, Thomas. But you have to be stronger, and you have to actually enforce that you want that raise because you deserve it. You know what I mean? It's not like you're somebody there that is twiddling their thumbs and looking up into the air and trying to find out what to do next. You're showing the initiative, man. So you need to be paid accordingly. You know what I'm saying? As far as how much, that's something that you need to decide. How much are you worth? Do you have any friends that are doing the same thing as you, and how much are they getting paid? You know, what's the average around your area of somebody that's doing your type of work? Because you're doing, like, it looks to me like you're doing pretty much, mechanical work here, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you might not know everything, man, but to me, you're doing some really decent, mechanical work here. So,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, and I don't want you putting your pay out there, and I wouldn't even ask anyways. But you know, what I would do is find out what others are getting paid that are doing similar to what you're doing, or very close to what you're doing. All right, and if you're nowhere near that, then you need to ask for that much. If not, you need to go to another company because we're non-union. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? We learn from one company, and if we don't get our raise, we have to hopefully go to another company and get our raise that way. And it's an ongoing thing until you actually can find a company that appreciates somebody like you and me that learn and love to teach ourselves and do whatever we have to do to actually educate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually in the same boat with you right now. I'm just in a different level. Right now I'm fighting for my raise, and I might or might not get it. You know what I'm saying? And I might have to leave, even being in the company for 6 years. But I'm doing more than what I'm getting paid to do, and I'm doing it willingly because I want to show that I can do it. But secondly, I want to get paid, for what I'm doing, and I'm asking them for mine. So, I mean,
Right.
it's the same thing, Thomas. Same thing that you have to do. You got to fight for your raise, because if not, you're gonna be losing money, and you're gonna go on for years without a raise, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get discouraged. Even if they tell you no once, it doesn't mean that you have to leave the company or whatever and just, you know, if they tell you no, it doesn't mean that it's over. You have to continue, at it and keep asking. You know what I'm saying? Just keep. Don't let that discourage you from doing. Stop working. I know a lot of people that'll mess up their attitude and they'll just start to like not care anymore. You can't do that. You can't. You just gotta continue. Getting better at your job. So I have Joe here, man. He says, I believe the budget should matter to you, Thomas. Let me see. Focus on workmanship. Definitely, it's expensive to fix a mistake than it is to make right the first time. If the job is over budget, if it's an office problem from either bad accounting or purchasing, etc. So just he's right. You know what I mean? Try to do the job just once, man. Always think about workmanship when you're doing your work. I mean, as far as the budget, though, man. I mean, you're pretty much. I think you're in the clear, man. This foreman that you have is the one that should be actually worried more about the budget and whether they're on budget or over the budget. He's the one that should be actually worrying about that.
Right.
You shouldn't worry about that. What you should be worried about is more about getting what you paid for what you're worth. You know, um,
Right.
that's what you really should. Let me see. The prevailing scale in Bay Area is $80 an hour for a journeyman mechanic. That's prevailing though. That's prevailing wage though. We're talking about, Joe. you know. But yeah, that's
Yeah. So I guess one of the things that I am nervous about is like what you're saying right now a minute ago was like, you gotta keep it. I gotta keep it going. I guess one of my fears is starting all over somewhere else and having to reprove myself.
we all have that. We all have that.
I just need to get over that. I need
Yeah,
to get over that.
you do, man. How old are you, man? Let me ask you, how old are you?
I'm 38. I'm
Listen,
38.
brother. Listen, we're still young, man. We're still young. Okay, we can still do this, and you know what? You're young in the trade. Okay, I'm sorry to say that. I hope that you don't have to. I pray that you don't have to. Like leave the company in order to get paid what you're worth. But you know, I- it's gonna happen, man. It's inevitable because you know what? In order for you're non-union, man. So you can learn so quick, right? As much as you want, right? But your company will not pay you what you're worth because they only seen you having 3 years of experience, okay? But you could maybe, mentally or physically, have more experience than that. You can go to another company and get maybe a $5 to $10 raise. That the company that you're presently working for is not willing to pay you. Okay, so
I
with
got you.
with that though is you're gonna have to educate yourself and apply yourself a lot. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
which I do feel like I have grown a lot in this company. Which
right,
is like I go back and forth with myself about I do go back and forth with myself about leaving the company because I've been put in a situation where I am growing and I have grown a lot compared to a lot of other people that I started with, right? Because they hire in groups. You know what
right.
I'm saying? So I do feel like I did excel a lot faster than the group that I came in with, just
That's great.
because of my foreman bouncing on me and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Unfortunately, it sucked when I was doing that. When it does that, but when I get something done, I feel like I have a sense of accomplishment. Like, oh shit, I actually can do all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, of course, of course. I mean that helps and it doesn't help, man. You know what I mean? Like I was actually put in the same predicament.
Yeah.
I was put in the same predicament as you. You know what I mean? And so you were, you're pretty much leading. You're doing everything by yourself and everything, but it's still good to have the foreman there to guide you and teach you what you're doing wrong or right. You know what I mean? But still, even though, like I said, man, you have your experience, man, and as long as you apply yourself and try to teach yourself a little something every day, man, when it comes time to leave the company, you have this experience and you can actually ask for what you're really worth, man. You know what I'm saying? In order to get the money that you're worth in non-union shops, man, this is what we have to do. Unless you strike gold and you're in a company that actually is willing to pay you what you're worth every year, which is not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So you might have to. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. It's inevitable that you're gonna have to leave at some point. I'm not saying that you have to leave this company now, Thomas, and that situation is now. I'm just saying that don't be afraid to jump, man, because somebody with your skills and somebody with your attitude, people are always going to be willing to snatch you up quickly. All right, you have to be confident in that. You have to be confident in that. Yo, I'm good, man. I'm a good hard worker. People will be, should be happy to have me in their company. You have to have that attitude, that kind of conceitedness. You have to have that. That's what we electricians are all about, man. You know what I mean? We're the most conceited people. I think so, at least. You know what I mean? But that's what you have to have, man. You have to be that, kind of like that maverick, man. You have to have that attitude, man. Because if not, man, I'm telling you, you'll go nowhere, man, and you'll be paid dirt for your whole career. Don't be scared to jump, man. Don't be scared, man. You have to have that attitude, like either give me what I'm worth or I'll leave. You know what I mean? And it's your loss. You know, that's the kind of attitude you have to have, Thomas. Don't be afraid for that. But I'm not saying that the time is now for that. Okay, I'm not saying that either.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And also,
Right.
never, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I definitely don't want to give them the ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? I
Of
definitely don't want to
course,
go in there with that kind of attitude and be like, hey, I'll leave right now. But I just gotta
Mm,
find a way to put my words
exactly. You know what I'm
to where
saying?
they don't feel like I'm going in there on the defense or I'm going in there making threats. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, not at all. Listen, and also, I might say all that, and I'm saying it the way that I'm saying it, but everything is always done respectfully and professionally. When you speak to people, it's always respectfully and professionally. You don't always, like when I'm saying this, I'm always saying it. You're always gonna bring it across professionally. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But yeah, this might not be the time now. Listen, man. I think you still have a lot more years to grow in this company and to learn in this company. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't think the time now is to leave yet. But yes, I would push for your raise because you know what? you deserve it. You know what I mean? But you know what? Even if you don't get it, man, Thomas, the amount of experience that you've gotten while you were in this job, because your foreman has given you so much responsibilities, is just as good as a raise. Listen, your raise is there. Okay, you might not have the money now or at all, but the raise is still there, man. You know what I mean? You could be paid right now, whatever it is that you're getting paid, and next year it'll make up for all of that money. All the raise that you didn't get paid, it'll come at once. With experience, and then maybe you'll get another opportunity somewhere else, or maybe your own company will finally see what you're worth and give you the raise that you want. It's a non-union company, so there's not a certain, you know, rate that they go by. Like if they feel you're worth, $5 more or $3 more or whatever it is, they'll give it to you, especially if you're really worth it. But you gotta ask for it,
Yeah,
Tommy.
well, I said for you, and that's fine. I'll definitely keep you guys in tune. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you guys I'll give you guys an update on it or whatnot next time we have a live.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Joe, man, I wanna thank you for.
But yeah, I didn't mean to spill the floor like that. I know I
No,
kind
that's what this is for.
off topic subject.
No, that's what this is for, man. There was nobody else that raised their hand and whatnot. If there was, I would have taken them too. But there was nobody else, so the floor was yours, anyways, man. The posted, man. Yeah, I hope you see you next weekend on the live, fellas. Thank you for coming through. Hold on one second. Actually, I have P Funk coming up here. Better late than never. Uh,
Sounds good.
Hold on one second. Yeah, hey, P Funk, what's up? What's going on, buddy?
It was basically a question about really actually a request, but not about a video, because I've been wondering lately, like the 16 by 16 junction box. Did
Right.
you ever video about installing them? Like you got like a pipe running up in there, running into the 16 by 16 junction box. Did you ever make a video on that, or would
Like,
you?
just like bringing a conduit into a 16 by 16 box.
No, like installing it, like knocking the holes in there. How far would you knock the holes in there?
Okay.
Or yeah, like basically like something like that.
No, I've never done a video like on that exactly. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand exactly what it is that you want. Like you want me to do a video on like junction boxes and like maybe how my pipes are spaced out and how to put them into the box, or am I reading it wrong?
Mm, my biggest concern is uh, like where how far the pipe is gonna be spaced out.
Right.
But in the booster box, you're gonna have to drill the hole.
Yes.
How you gonna space the hole? Where you gonna put the holes at and stuff like that. That's
Okay.
my
So
biggest
yeah, I
concern.
know what you mean. I know what you mean. You want a layout. You want to know how to actually lay it out, man. Yeah, yeah. I can do that. I could work on something like that. I know I don't have one actually, but that's something that actually, you know what, I need to find out if I could actually get going. But I'm writing that down right now as you say that, because you know what, we are doing so many of those at this job that I'm pretty sure I could sneak in a video, actually a couple of videos of how to lay those boxes out. You know what I mean? And then as I said, show you the videos, if you want to get more specific and be like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. How about this? Then we could work on it better, you know what I'm saying, to make the video better to your liking. How's that, P Funk? So give me a little bit of time and I'm gonna get something together for you.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate it a lot.
Uh,
And another question I have is, because I'm non-union too,
yeah,
and I'm non-union, so it can be a pain, you know what I mean?
of
And
course.
so recently, I just passed my I gave the union like my 2,000 hours,
Yeah,
and And then I also took the test, passed the test to get into the apprenticeship.
Okay.
And so they basically, the dude was like, look, if you get in, we gonna start you off in the beginning. And then he was like, but we gonna do your pay raise. You gonna probably take a pay cut.
Right.
Like what he told me, he was like, basically I'm gonna be like making what it look like a 35% of a journeyman. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the first day apprentice type of stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
so I'm like, I'm kind of looking at him like, is it, I'm gonna be taking like a $4 cut,
Yeah.
But I'm like, but what I do know is, what I mean, they kind of got like better training in their apprenticeship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so based on what I'm asking you is, what do you think? What do you think I should do? Should you think I should stay or should I
Listen.
go over to the union?
Listen, man. It's all depends, on your situation, man. But like, if I was you, I would definitely go with the union, man. You know, there's so many different benefits that I can't even tell you. Your education is going to be up there. They're going to teach you. They're going to give you so many benefits, man. Your retirement accounts that you're going to have. Um, I mean, the list goes on, man. Like P Funk, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I mean, it's just. Do you know what union you're signing up for? What number?
Yeah, 357.
Okay. So yeah, man. Look, like how you, I think that's the better choice, man. I wouldn't want to guide you down the wrong fucking path, man. I would definitely join the union. And definitely don't worry about the pay cut, man, because that'll come back. You're gonna get it back in other ways. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'll be a $4 cut, but you're getting it back in other ways. And you know what? You'll actually probably end up making more money faster because like look at what Thomas is going through and myself is going through. We're actually getting paid what we're actually worth. So in a few years, if you don't join the union, P Funk, man, you might be going through hell just trying to get a raise, man, for what you really deserve, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think personally, man, that you should, pull the trigger, go to the union, and call it a day, man. In 5 years, man, you could be making top dollar, man. And you'll be fully educated. You'll be maxed out, exactly, and you'll be fully educated, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think you should go, man. I don't even think that's not even a hard decision, man, because yeah, now for some, I could understand this. There are some people out there that they will take a lot bigger pay cut. You know what I'm saying, and it just doesn't work for their lifestyle at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So I could understand why some people would, but like $4, I mean, I know it's a little something, but I mean, you can make it work, man. You know what I'm saying? You can make it work with that, and it'll be worth it because in the long run, I think you'll be making more money quicker than with the non-union shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I think I've been thinking about going for it, man. Just 'cause I mean, like at my job, far as the training goes, they'll just they'll just tell you go do this, and I never done it before, and leave you there and be like what the hell's going on,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, man. See, with non-union shops, man, you have to be lucky enough for them to actually pair you with somebody. Number one, that knows what he's doing. Number two, that even wants to be teaching people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, man. Like I think it's better if you go to the union, man. You'll be better educated, man, and you can map out your career better that way, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm not saying that that's not possible in non-union shops. Okay, what I'm saying is that if you have the opportunity and it's there, take it. You know what I'm saying? You have the opportunity, it's there, take it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all I got.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. That's all I got, man. Anybody else got any last words before I get out of here? I guess.
Oh, and another thing, if you gonna ever make that video you was talking about in the comment section on YouTube about you was gonna make a video about, I think you putting a box and then you making a bin. I mean, making a bin where you have the box on the bin or something like that.
The box on the back. You talked. Oh, damn, man. I can't remember what video. I mean, what was that? Last weekend?
Yeah, that was like
Box on the back. I can't remember, man. What the hell I was saying, man, about that. I think you were talking about when I was making a segment band and I had to put a box on a segment band. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. But if you remember, man, and you could, text it to me, man, I'll make sure I get to it. Or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look through all my notes because I know I make notes. So I'm gonna see if I wrote it down. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll get to that video. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll try to see if I remember what you were talking about, and I'll ask you in the comments sometime this week. But anyways,
so.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was cause I was talking about 3-point saddle, and I asked you as a way to do a 3-point saddle on the ground, cause I like doing my games on the ground.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, if you want to do your 3-point saddles on the ground, okay, which is not unheard of, okay, it's not unheard of. When you're first starting out, people like to do it on the ground because I guess they can see their pipe better and they can use their levels. But you're gonna have to use a stairway, man, because your pipe is gonna have to be leaning off of the stairway. But if I were you, P Funk, now, if I were you, I would try harder, man, to learn how to bend it in the air. Because bending it on the ground is not something that you're gonna see every day. You know what I'm saying? Now you can start it off bending it on the ground. You know what I mean? But then after that, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to do it on the ground all the time unless you have a stairway somewhere around. And even if you do have a stairway, if the saddle is not towards the end of the pipe, it still might not be good enough. You know what I mean? So I mean, you already know how hard it is to do it on the floor because there's no way to do it unless you have somewhere you could lean off the pipe from, either a stairway or a ledge or something. But if I were you, man, I would just do your best to learn how to do it in the air. It's really not that hard. You know what I'm saying? What you probably having problems with is, figuring out how many degrees you're bending it. You know what I'm saying? And once you learn, like, okay, boom, this is the 22-degree bend on your bender, then you'll be all right. You know what I mean? You just gotta look at the side of the marks. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that you're lining it up parallel to that. Or what you can do is, I mean, let me ask you real quick, what's the difference? Why is it better for you to do it on the floor, the saddle bend?
Because you know what I mean, like as far as the level, I'm using the level.
Okay.
You know, and it tells me if I went too far, I'm looking like okay.
Okay, I got you.
So that's what I just got. It's like it's kind of like for me training wheels. You know what
I
I mean?
got you. I got you. I got you. Let me give you some pointers here for that. Let me give you some pointers. Okay, so good. Try this. The next time you got to do a saddle, right? All right. So first, grab a scrap piece of, like, when you do your saddles, you do 22 and a half on the sides and 45 in the center, right?
See, I really even did my board.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So
If I have to do like if I need something like a 4-point saddle or whatever,
yeah.
I just do two offset bends and put a coupling on them and run it like
Okay. All right. All right. That's not a problem. You just got to learn how to do it. That's all. But the 3-point saddle, right? What we're talking about now is a 3-point saddle. So basically, just you want to do them on the floor because you're trying to see the degrees. Don't worry so much about the degrees. You know what I'm saying? The only one that really matters the most is the center one, right? Which is going to be a 45. Now, what you need to learn first is when you're starting to bend, right, and you're using your bender, there's about a few marks on the side of it. It says 10, 22 and a half, 30, 45, and 60. The ones you're going to use the most are, the middle ones, probably like 30, 45, and 22. So what you want to do first is bend. Since you have a level already, you have a level for the third. I mean, do you have the type of level that tells you when you have a 30-degree bend and a 45-degree bend?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So bend those two bends. Bend the 30 on a scrap piece of pipe, okay, and then bend the 45, a perfect 45 and a perfect 30. Boom. Then you put it back into your bender and see where it lines up with the lines and try to memorize that all the time so that when you bend it in the air, you know you have to stop at this spot. And also, the way you could do it is just, your bends, your pipe has to be at the bottom of your pipe has to be lined up with that line that's on the side of the bender, man. It's that easy. You know what I'm saying? And you just you gotta practice, man. P-Funk, you gotta practice, man. Keep doing those bends. Don't avoid them. Fuck them up. That's the only way you're gonna learn, man. You know what I mean? That's the only.
My advice, bro, is to buy go buy a bundle of half-inch pipe, borrow a half-inch
Yes.
pipe bender from one of your boys, and just cut every single stick in half. I mean, a bundle of half-inch pipe is like $35, maybe $40 right now because of inflation. But the amount of value you get out of that $40, bro, is priceless, dude. Just that's how I learned how to do it, bro. I just sat in my garage or wherever you have to do it, your backyard, whatever, and just bend all. So if you cut them in half, you will definitely have room to do 3-point saddles, twice as much 3-point saddles and 4-point saddles on each of those. And after that, you have it nailed down. It literally took me one Saturday afternoon.
Yep, that's true.
And I just doing just practice on the 3-point saddles.
Yeah, definitely. Just
I did. So I cut them in half. I did 10 3-points and 10 4-points. 10, yeah, 4-point saddles and 3-point saddles. That's all I did. You know what I'm saying? You'll have it, after that, you'll have it embedded in your head, bro. You'll never forget it, bro. You'll be like, okay, I got this now. You know what I'm saying? Once that light goes off, you'll be like, okay, cool.
Yep. And that'll be the best money you invested. Even if you have to do it one more time and invest that money, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the best money that you invest in. You're teaching yourself, man. You can't do better than that, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and trust me, somebody will let you borrow that half-inch bender if you don't own one.
I got a half-inch, a 1-inch, and a 3/4 bender.
Man, you're halfway there, man. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And so I found that comment. You was like, grab a 4x4. You said you gonna make a video, which you haven't yet. You said grab a 4x4 square.
Oh, now I remember. Oh man, let me write that shit down. Hold on. Now I know what you're talking about. Hold on 1 second. 4x4 for leveling pipe. Yes. Okay, so the thing is, yes, I'm gonna actually do that. I'm gonna try to do that sometime this week because it's a quick video. It's not even that long. So basically, yeah, that is what's gonna help you for the 3-point saddle to keep it level. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna help you because what I used to do when I first started a long time ago was I used to put a box. I used to put a connector on the center of my box. You know what I'm saying? On a regular 4x4, and I put it at the end of my pipe, and then when I'm doing my 3-point saddles, that box, if it's not straight, I'll know. And if I want to get more precise, I could just throw a level on top of it. You know what I mean? But still, that box, it'll tell you if you're straight or not. You know what I mean? Because it's a square box, so it'll tell you when you're flipping and moving your marks. You'll be able to tell. But I'm gonna make a video on it to make it better so that you actually understand it. But I do have a video already that's called "Stop Dogging Your Conduit," and it's a different system that I use with a marker. You know what I mean? If you just search "Stop Doglegging Your Conduit" by Holmzlaw, the video will come up. You know what I mean? And Joe was just saying here we used to cut them at 40 inches when doing small bends. 1 inch to 4 inch, you'll get 3 shots per stick. Yeah, that's true. You could even make 3 bends out of a 10 foot piece. So guys, listen, man. I hate to cut it, man, but yeah, that's true. Anybody else got anything to say?
Have a good weekend, bro. Thank you. Have a good
All right,
weekend. I'll talk to you next weekend.
Yeah, man. Everybody have a good weekend, man. And with that, guys, I'm out.